jumping on a minute early just to make sure that everything is going to work and that it's not going to shut down on me again like it did last week. I think it was actually Restream was having the issue on their end. So far, it looks like it's working. Um, so if this is your first time joining us, please, when you first get in the chat, give me your name and where you're from, either just state or country, and that will enter you into the drawing. That will probably do about 6:30. It depends on like how many questions everybody has. So on my end, it just comes up like Facebook user or YouTube. So I just need a name and where you're from. Hello, Nicole. I always love it when somebody first get on because then I know that this is working. I'm so bad with technology. When it works, it's great. And when it doesn't work, I don't know how to fix it. Hello, Kristen. Ohio. Okay. So how's everything in you guys' world? I know Nicole always has a ton of stuff going on with her dogs. Hey, Key. I just got back from it's kind of like a preschool, I think. Two of my dogs just certified as therapy dogs. So we went to this. Oh, Nicole's pet sitting. Of course you are. I'm doing a board and train, so I have a puppy here that's outside right now playing with Willie. But Willie and Jade went to like a preschool Montessori school, and we did a thing from about dog body language and what to do with, how to be safe around dogs, and, how to be able to tell if a dog is friendly or, nervous or aggressive. So it was actually pretty cool. Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. So, Nicole, what specifically as far as scent discrimination? Because I know when we did scent work, we just trained our dogs to hunt for human scent. So we didn't really discriminate. So if dogs were like dual purpose, like they could be trained on life scent and deceased people. But I didn't do that. I just did the life scent. Although right now I'm training Jade with so I know Birch is one that we always start with too. I actually have one of those scent kits, but I haven't really used it because right now we're just training Jade with the scent of my mouth, like the saliva when I'm getting a migraine. So I make my own little scent things. But yeah, that's cool that you're doing the containers and then so Nicole, what does Moose takes the right scent? Like, does he sit? Does he bark? Does he lay down? Because there's different things. I'm trying to. So right now, when Jade can sense that I'm getting a migraine, she will try to get up on my lap and then lick my face. That is not always convenient. So I'm trying to change it to a target, like have her target my leg. or something like that, rather than um, trying to jump up on my lap. Because if I'm like sitting down or somewhere where she'll just get like agitated and pace and whine and paw at me, and so to other people it just looks like she's being naughty. And at first, that's what I thought too. It's like, why are you doing this? I can't believe that you're acting like this. And it was actually that she was trying to tell me, oh, he just keeps his nose on the container. Yeah, see, I wouldn't be able to do that because the scent comes from my mouth or my saliva. You guys, I apologize. I'm eating pistachios while I'm doing this because I've been working all day and have not even had time to eat dinner or eat anything all day. So I picked something really small that I could eat while I'm talking. Okay, do you guys want a case study this week for extra points, or do you want questions, or do you want to give me a topic and I will talk about it? Oh, I know one thing. I'm reading the best book right now, you guys. It's by Christina Spalding, and she's a PhD, and I have taken some of her classes before. And this book is called The Scent Factor. No, Stress Factor in Dogs. So I'm a real science geek, and so I love reading all this stuff. But here, Maddie, you can have one. It's all about how stress impacts behavior. So, like, they talk about, and I'm probably only about a quarter of the way through it, but when I start reading, I can't put it down. How stress in dogs is a factor in their behavior. So, even if you have a mama dog that, say, a street dog, or in a really stressful situation, like say a shelter, even rescues can be really stressful. And so if mom is stressed, she can pass off those stress hormones to her puppies. And so then the puppies are going to be more likely to be stressed. And then they were talking about how even if we get dogs into a foster home and they can give birth in a foster home, that's better than a shelter. But even the mom can be stressed because it's like, okay, this is a new place, these are new surroundings, environment, there's other dogs here. So it can still be stressful and they can still pass that on. Now, once the puppies are born, let's say they're in an environment where people are fighting and yelling all the time, or there's multiple dogs in the house, or cats running around, or I'm just making stuff up. But if the puppies are in a stressful environment during their first few months of life, that can really affect them, and it affects behavior. It does go into some detail about the hormones and how it affects that, and how it can absolutely affect behavior. So it's really good. So I had a really good friend of mine call, and she and her husband are getting ready to get a Great Dane puppy. And so she called me and she says, can you FaceTime when we go meet the puppy? And we just want to do everything right. And so we're going to be talking about enrichment, keeping the puppy like free, just like there's so much. And then I remember back when I was a kid, we would get a dog. We probably took it to the vet once for a spay, neuter, and vaccines, and that was it. Like, the dogs like never got in fights. They were always good dogs. I don't even think we took them back for like additional vaccines. We didn't do training classes. We just had family dogs, and they were really good. So, but now things have changed so much and we're always learning new things. Um, Thanks to all the scientists out there that study this stuff. But um, yeah, it's really, really interesting if you guys want a really good read. I think it's good, but like I said, I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to that. I could read like science type books all day. Um, but anyway, Nicole, I'm thinking of training Wilma to alert for low blood sugar. I'm struggling with my diabetes. Um, yeah, that's a really good one. And what you do is, can you can you tell when your blood sugar is going low? Um, because so what I do is I can tell when I'm getting a migraine, but usually by the time I can tell, it's almost too late, and which is why I want Jade to um, alert earlier. But I have to go through this whole series where I wash my hands with unscented soap. You can't have scented soap on your hands. You cannot have it. So if I had a migraine coming on right now, I wouldn't be able to do anything because I've been eating. Hey, Kirsten. Um, oh, we got Kirsten, Renee, which means Brian's going to be here. Um, so we're just talking about scent work. So I don't know if it's the same for blood sugar, but after I wash my hands, I get those cotton rolls that you do at the dentist, and I just soak them with saliva, and then I put them in a baggie, and then another baggie, so I double baggie them, and then I date them, and then I put them in a like a Tupperware thing and put them in the freezer. They're only good for 6 months, so that's why we date them. And then that's what I teach her. Then we do just fun scent work, but instead of using birch or which box has the hot dog, it's which box has the cotton roll with the scent on. So, but I don't, so you can't really tell. Yeah, so I don't know if you have a trainer there that you could work with, but if not, I have a great trainer here that could probably Zoom with you and help you via Zoom. She's the one that I'm working with Jade, and she's amazing. So that's like 95% of what she does is service dog stuff. So, and then I have a friend. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask. I don't multitask well, guys. I have a friend that is going through a service dog program, and she said that they don't use the saliva. They do like you take the cotton swab and you run it over your forehead and one other place, and that's where you do the scent. But I would think that if you have, like, for women, like we have moisturizer on or makeup that has scent in it, that then the dog's going to pick up on that instead. So she's still learning, but I think for now I would go for the mouth saliva. But I honestly don't know how you would get that. I don't know how you scent if you can't tell when it's an early onset. That's where you would want Molly's help. So, Nicole, if you can email me at Tracy. I think you guys have my email, right? Here, I'll just put it in. So it's Tracy at Pupford.com. I don't want to put her phone number like out here for, any YouTube weirdos that are going to be out. So I don't want to put her thing on, but yeah, I can give you her information, and you could set up a Zoom call with her or something. So okay. Yeah, so Nicole, if you check your blood sugar and you can tell it's low, but you're not feeling lousy yet, that's when I would do the wash your hands, get the cotton rolls, get the scent, and do that. So, okay, Julie. Hello, Julie. Let's see, Brian. Peyton's nails grow so fast. After 3 or 4 days, she is clacking on my hardwood floors. Is that normal? It's supposed to be that the more you trim your dog's nails, the less you have to do it, because I can't remember the reasoning behind that. It's been a while since I've been in there, but some dogs just have nails that grow really fast. So I like to Dremel, and the reason I use a Dremel is because I can get them shorter without quicking them, and then I can round them. And with my dogs, I use a lick mat, so they get to lick peanut butter while I'm doing their nails. But just today, we were at the school with Jade and Willie, and I looked down, and I'm like, oh my goodness, Willie, we need to trim your nails, because they were pretty long. So yeah, I mean, I guess they can grow that fast, but supposedly, the more you do it, the slower they grow. So the other thing you might want to do is do walks out on asphalt, because if you walk on asphalt and things like that, it will automatically like file their nails down. So then hopefully you wouldn't have to do it as often. Kirsten, would scent work be good for Catahoula? Oh, absolutely. I actually recommend scent work for every one of my clients. I don't care what breed they have. They could have a Corgi, they could have a Chihuahua, but it's really, really good enrichment. And even if you're not training for something specific, it's still going to be really good. So yes, and you can start out with, like, you don't have to get the actual scent kits. Like, you can save your Amazon boxes, or I save my Pupford boxes, and I will like spread peanut butter or pumpkin or baby food. I use a lot. Throw in some kibble and treats. Sometimes if it's for Maddie, I'll throw in some vegetables, and then I kind of close up the box. They can smell it, just from the box not being totally closed, but you can poke some holes in it with a knife or a fork, and then let the dog shred it. Like, let them figure out how to get inside of it. Let them pull it apart, shred it, all of that. The other one I do is I'll start with 3 boxes, and I'll put like a piece of cheese or a hot dog or something in one of the boxes. And then I bring the dog in and I say, find it. And then they get to sniff each box, and they'll usually stop when they smell the one with the hot dog. or the whatever food. Um, and then I'll usually mark and then, praise them and then open the box and let them get the hot dog. Um, or you can let them shred the box to get the hot dogs. So, yes, and then I start adding more boxes. So I'll start with 3 and then I'll do 4 and then I usually work up to 10 or 12. Just so they have to work a little bit harder, like which box is it in. Another good nose work one you can do is take your dog's kibble or treats and hide them around the house. Now, if you have multiple animals and if they resource guard, then I wouldn't do it this way. But you can hide treats like behind the TV or behind a chair leg or a couch leg and let your dog come in and search around and find the treat. So they really have to use their nose. And so it engages their brain and it's really good for all breeds. So yes, I would definitely do that for a Catahoula because yes, I know they have a lot of energy. And I don't think it would be too much. I actually think so. I've been in some nose work classes where we did it with working dogs. So like Dutch Shepherds, German Shepherds, Malinois, and they are like super high energy, but they love to work and they just do really well at it, and it helps to tire them out. So yes, I would definitely do it. And yes, Renee, thank you. That's what I was trying. That was the reasoning is the more often you trim their nails, then their quick recedes, and so then you don't have to do it as often, and you don't have to worry about cooking them. So yes, and sorry for you guys that came late. I'm eating pistachios for dinner while I'm talking. So all of the dogs I work with, I mean, I do it with every dog. Puppies, it's really good problem solving. It's a good activity for just, dogs that you're teaching basic cues, basic manners. And for all of my behavior dogs that I work with, I require the owners to do enrichment. And enrichment includes snuffle mat. And that's another one that you could use is snuffle mat because they can't see all the food. They have to like use their nose and burrow in there and find all the food. So that's a really good, easy one. If you have a yard, I told one client, I worked with them and their terrier. I couldn't even pet this dog. Like this dog was growling at me almost the whole time. And so I told him, if you don't want to buy a snuffle mat, take his food and throw it out in the lawn and tell him to go hunt and let him forage for food and work for his food. And so they said they were going to do that. That's a really easy, cheap way to do it is just throw out their food in the lawn and tell them to go hunt. And dogs are natural foragers anyway. So that's a really good exercise that you can do with them. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, dew claws. I had a dog that had a spinal cord injury, and so just because of the way he walked, he would like his nails were always short. But I did have to do his dew claws, and then he would kind of sometimes drag his back legs, and so they would wear down. But then I would have to do his dew claws and then his front. So let's see, Kirsten. He's a very sensitive hula. He hates to fail. I never punish him for not catching on quickly. Um, yeah, so with with the nose work, and if you're just doing it for fun and you're not, like training a SAR dog, you can make sure that he wins because you're going to know which box has the hot dog in it. So you can bring him over and say, go, find it. Like, check this. Is it in this box? Is it in this box? And you'll be able to tell when he hits the box that has I would use something really stinky like cheese or hot dogs. And you'll be able to see him like pause and sniff. And then right there, you mark it with either a clicker or a yes, you got it. Good job. And then open it and let him get it out. So when you're doing scent work, it's really hard to fail because we can kind of help them at first and teach them what we want them to do, and then they pick it up pretty well themselves. So yeah, you can't really fail. And I do this with puppies. The other one you could do is just do a snuffle mat because you can see some of the food on the top because you can't really bury all of it. So some of it's on the top, so they're eating some, and then the more they eat, they sniff, and they can get more out. So yeah, snuffle mat works. Kirsten, I do have a handout on enrichment, so if you want to email me, I'm happy to send you my enrichment handout. I haven't looked at it in a while. I know the Go Hunt is on there. The enrichment boxes, I think, are on there. I don't have a handout for specific scent work, but I believe, not positive, but I believe the box one is on there where you put out like 3 boxes and put a treat in one. But yeah, if you want to email me, I will send you my enrichment handout. Okay, so Julie likes the blueberry treats. Dakota was unsure at first, and Ellie would eat anything. Yeah, let's see, the day that we tried the blueberries, I had Jade, and then I had another, I had a client's dog because we were using them to film some videos. And yeah, I think we had Maddie there as well. My dogs will pretty much eat anything. And don't they have a banana? There was 2 new flavors that we tried. And my dogs, of course, will eat anything. But what's funny is my dogs aren't really thrilled with the sweet potato treats. I don't know why. So I always get everything else other than sweet potato. But I do know that they like the blueberry, and I want to say it was a banana one that they liked. I can't remember. And okay, so going back to Kirsten's comment, when we're working with any dog, whether it's a working dog or a rescue dog or a puppy, we always want to set them up for success. So we always want to make sure that we are helping them and that we're like not allowing them to fail. Yeah, I always start really easy. That's why I start with 3 boxes. You can even start with 2 boxes. And then I always help them. Like if you put a snuffle mat down and the dog just looks at it, you can get down and say, look, find it. What is all this? And kind of show them where the treats are and show them that it's under there. So we want to set everything up for the dog to succeed. We don't want to do it for them because we want them to have to like use their brain and figure it out. But we can definitely help them so that they succeed. And then the more you do that, the more they're going to be able to do it on their own. So, um, yes, banana chips. I knew it was something banana. My dogs love their snuffle mat too. So Jade, I feed Jade in a snuffle mat, and she went from being able to eat her food in like 10 seconds flat to 9 minutes. So it takes her 9 minutes now to eat, and it's great because the other dogs can finish. I don't have to worry about her going to try to eat the other dog's food, um, and it gives her some enrichment so that it tires her out because she's my little hyper girl. Um, so yes, freeze dried apples. That was, sorry if you just heard my alarm go off. It was to remind me to take my blood pressure medicine. I have to set an alarm or I forget. Um, okay, so I didn't know they had sweet potato jerky. I just knew about the sweet potato treats, but it makes sense. Okay, let me go back and see if I missed anybody. Do you guys have any other questions, like training questions, behavior questions? We didn't really do a case study tonight. We talked more about stress in dogs and stress in puppies and how it can affect behavior. So, just because I'm reading a really good book right now on stress and how it affects dog behavior. We've talked about service dogs and how to train on scent. Okay. So do you guys have any other questions, or do you want to do a drawing? We can do a drawing and you can be done early, or we can talk about, if you guys want it, if you guys have a topic that you want me to talk about, I'm happy to do that. I know one thing. So my other trainer that works with me, she has a client and they were looking at getting another dog from a rescue. And I'll actually give you extra points for this. I want you to tell me what they did wrong and why. So the client with us for the meet and greet because we want somebody there. We didn't know if this particular shelter had a trainer on staff or if they have a behavior team or anything like that. So she went and called me. I could tell she was upset because her voice was shaking, like she was so upset. So first they said only our staff can handle the dogs. So we're going to take your dog and then we'll introduce it to the dog that you're wanting to meet. So just as an aside, I would never let somebody else handle my dog that I didn't know and trust. Because some people don't know how to do proper meet and greets, and I wouldn't want it done wrong and having a dog like go after my dog. So first rule, I don't care who they are or what Paul, like I am going to handle my own dog. No questions asked. So that was the first thing. But the rest of it, I'm just going to tell you what happened and you guys can tell me what they did wrong. So they met in a small yard. They had both dogs on leash. They allowed the dog at the rescue to run up to the client's dog and the dog growled. So then So I'm just going to say shelter dog, client dog. The shelter dog growled, and so they leash popped him. And she said that they did like 3 or 4 leash pops on. Do you guys know what a leash pop is? It's when if they have like a slip lead or something, and they'll just do it like a quick, like it's a tighten, so it's like a pop. It's considered aversive, so we don't do that. But even though the dogs were growling at each other, they still were standing there and trying to interact as they were leash popping this other dog. And Caitlin said, "Can we go for a parallel walk first?" And they said, "No, we don't do that." So she was like mortified. She said, had they done this correctly, the dogs probably would have gotten along and been fine. But just the way they handled it, it did not go well. So, what specifically are some of the things that they did that were like, I don't want to say bad. It was bad, but what specific things can you think of that they could have done differently? That's what I said, Nicole. I said, I dropped from them. Oh, and then in the profile, they said this dog is really good with other dogs, even though they had only introduced the dog to one other dog. Hi, Bill. I'm glad you could join us. I'm going to put you down right now. Because we work with a lot of dogs that have doggy friends, like they've been able to meet Jade and Eddie and do fine, but I would never take this dog to a dog park because it would definitely not go well. So, yeah. So Nicole, I'm going to be putting extra points down for you guys. So yes, introducing on leash can be more stressful. However, when we don't know how the dogs are going to react and we don't want to break up a dog fight, sometimes we have to do it on leash. And so even though it can be more stressful, that's usually how we do it. But Kirsten hit it right on the head. You do not let another dog like run up to, because that's considered rude. So if you're standing there and this other dog comes running up, like I have a really good friend that has no concept of personal space. So when he comes, like he'll be like right here talking to me, and I'm like, oh, dude, can you like back up a little bit? I know my dogs that are great with other dogs, they will kind of growl, or correct a dog for running right up on them. So Kirsten, I gotta give you a point. So yes, not letting Renee, good job. So that's why Caitlin wanted to go for a parallel walk. And it was a yard. So it was a yard at the shelter, but it was a tight space. If you heard me say that, it wasn't a big space where they had their freedom to move away. It was kind of a tight space. And they didn't let the dogs walk like parallel walk. So I always like to do a parallel walk first. So they're walking, they can air sniff, they can get information. If the dogs are really calm, one can come up and do a butt sniff, things like that. So, let me go and read Bill's. Well, I'll finish with this first. So, Nicole, I have a specific way to introduce Wilma. We start with a gate between and do a lick mat. Yeah, that's good. Then parallel walks, yes, because then we can introduce on leash, but make sure it is out of the way as the dog's arc. Yeah, so when you do it, you want So we'll pretend like this is a dog. So instead of running right up, you want to let the dogs like they're gonna arc and go right to sniff the genitals. And you always want to stay on the outside with the leash so that if there is any growling, you just pull straight out. Um, but yes, you want the dogs to arc and not go straight in. Um, and yes, Kirsten, both on leash, neutral, turf. So, and I would add kind of a bigger space because some dogs can be really reactive in really tight spaces because they don't have a place to retreat to if they're not feeling comfortable. Okay, now let me go back to Bill's. Molly is progressing. Awesome. Starting to go out on her own, or at least heads for the door, and we get up and let her out. Awesome. She goes potting, comes back in. We've had her 12 days working on the biting, but she's getting better every day. Awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. So yeah, and Bill, the more that you just create that consistency and that structure and that predictability is going to be awesome. At the beginning, I can't remember if it was you guys I told, but one of my friends is getting a new puppy, and I told him the first week, I just want you to set up a routine. Like we go potty, then we eat, then we go out and go potty again, and then we're going to do some enrichment, and then we might do a short leash walk. Then we're going to nap, and then when you get up from your nap, we're going to go potty. So you just set up a routine so the dog has some predictability, and that's going to be huge. So yes, I love that you've had her 12 days and she's doing well with the potty training. That's awesome. And you know, all dogs go through the biting stage. I have a puppy board and training with me right now, and he was supposed to go home on Monday. And I gave the owner some options. I said, okay, so your puppy just went through a growth spurt and now has learned that he can jump on the couch and they don't want him on the furniture. So I said, we're kind of working on off all over again. I thought it when he was little because it's like, well, I can't get up there anyway, so I'm not even going to try. Well, then he learned that he could jump. And I've only had this dog, this will be my 3rd week. But just between week 1 and week 2, this dog just sprouted, like got bigger. And he started biting. So play biting, like your hands and things like that. But I did have, like, my cousin came over and the puppy jumped up and bit his hand. Like, we can't have that. So they opted to leave him with me for another week. So we've been working on that. And it's hard. But what I do is if he wants to bite on me, I will go get a toy and give him the toy and even play tug. Because a lot of times, especially with younger dogs, like they want to bite and they're trying to interact and play with you. So I'll get a toy and play with them. But they're not going to be biting me. Another one that I use a lot is the flirt pole, because the toy on the end is much farther away than my hand, and so they're not going to get close to my hands. If the dog is not interested in toys and wants to go back to biting you, then I crate them. And the first time I crate them, it'll be for 1 minute, just to kind of like decompress, and then I let them out. If they bite a 3rd time, back in the crate. And when I crate them, I always put a toy in there with them so that it's not a punishment. They go in there with a chew item or a toy or something. And then the 3rd time, 3rd strike is I cover it and they get a nap. And this one will kind of bark for a few minutes, but then he'll settle down and go to sleep. So, yeah, it's a phase they go through, but we'll just think of redirect, crate for 1 minute, and then nap, crate, and you'll be great. Oh yeah, so Good. Take her somewhere different every day. And so one thing you can do, Bill, um, you can kind of socialize her to dogs without having her actually meet them. So if you get in a like at a vet clinic in the parking lot or like a Petco, a doggy daycare, like anywhere that there's going to be dogs, you can just let your dog look at the dog, give him a treat. Like, oh, look, there's a dog over there, treat. So you don't have to really interact with them um, unless you want to, um, and you know the other dog is, going to be okay. So it's good for especially like with puppies. It's good to have them socialize with other puppies, but it's also good to have them socialize with good adult dogs. So that's one of the reasons I do puppy board and train, because I have an 11-year-old, I have a 4-year-old, I have a 2-year-old. And I take them to puppy class for just some extra. So they get to meet like other dogs. But yeah, if you don't want them to interact with other dogs yet, then yeah, just take her where she can look at dogs and then reward her for it. So just so she makes that association, like, oh, when I see other dogs, I get a treat. So, other dogs are awesome because they get treats. And yeah, keeping her inside and keeping her with you, so that one thing is we kind of, humans, we focus a lot on the negative. Like we wait till our dog is naughty and then focus on the naughty. But one thing you can do, since you're keeping your dog in sight 24/7, catch those good things and reward them. So like this puppy that I have right now, if I'm on the couch and I'm working and this dog lays down and is just chilling, I will give him a treat. Like, oh, good chill or good settle or whatever. So um yeah, I would make sure that you catch everything the dog's doing good and rewarding, because behavior that you reinforce is going to continue. So I'm going to talk about this vet thing. This is so this is where vets and trainers differ. So veterinarians are always going to tell you to wait till your dog is fully vaccinated before meeting other dogs. Behavior consultants, trainers, veterinary behaviorists. So a veterinary behaviorist is a vet that goes to like 2 to 4 more years of school. And what's important is that if you wait until your dog is fully vaccinated, they're 16 weeks old, and you've already missed that critical socialization period. So actually, let's see if I have 2 really good books that might be upstairs. Here's one. Okay, so this one, Clinical Behavior Medicine, Karen Overall is a veterinary behaviorist. Let me see if I can find this. I can't remember the full acronym. Veterinary something, behavioral something, but they actually say that it's really important to socialize your dogs before. So when I do my classes, I only require the first set of shots. They just have to have had a Bordetella, a DHPP. They don't need to have their rabies yet. And as long as they have their first set of shots, they can come to class. And the reason for that is because during that critical socialization period and their fear periods, we want them to get socialized in a really positive way. I have never had a dog get sick from one of my puppy classes. However, there are a lot of dogs that end up getting relinquished to, shelters for behavioral issues that stem from the dog not getting that early socialization. So, veterinary behaviorists will tell you to definitely, and not to knock, regular veterinarians, but most veterinarians only get like one class on behavior. So they don't get the full like puppy development, the fear periods, the like all that stuff. I don't know exactly what they get, but I'm going to see if I can find this on socialization. Let's see if this is it. So I should just have this. And this is actually this is for vet school. This is like an actual textbook. I don't know if this is. I want to say that if it was in here, I would have underlined it. So she does say animals should be exposed to all relevant social stimuli like early and in a non-traumatic manner. So that's why we want to do it. So you want to be ready. Don't take your 8-week-old to a soccer game where you don't know if, a parvo dog has been there or something like that. So during that time, you do want to be responsible, but you can still like set up play dates with, or like Bill said, a friend is bringing her 2 little dogs over. Perfect. Like I love play dates where you set them up. The other dogs are good, and they can socialize and play. So that's perfect. And then going to the groomer for a bath and hair trim just to get her used to it. Perfect. Like that's really good. Gosh, I really want to find this. I know I have it somewhere in all of my handouts because I know I've kept it. I will try to find it, but I will tell you that it's really important for that early socialization. And, I'm not a vet, I'm not a doctor, so I don't ever want to, tell vets that they don't know, but I always defer to the vet, like the veterinary behaviorists that have gone to actual schooling. So Nicole, this is called clinical behavior medicine for small animals. So it basically talks about dogs and cats. And then there's another one that I'm reading that's very similar, but it's one from the UK. And that's a really good one too. I have that book somewhere, and I need to find it again because I'm not done reading that one. So, Okay, so while I'm talking to you, let me just I'm just gonna see if I can find this site. About so this is coming from an actual this is coming from a I found it. Okay. The primary and most important time for puppy socialization is the first 3 months of life. During this time, puppies should be exposed to as many new people, animals, stimuli, and environments as can be achieved safely and without causing overstimulation manifested as excessive fear, withdrawal, or avoidance. For this reason, the American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior believes that it should be the standard of care for puppies to receive such socialization before they are fully vaccinated. So if you type in, it's an acronym for American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior, and put like position statement on puppy socialization, you can read the whole article. So there you go. So that is coming from veterinarians that deal solely with behavior. So yes, that is why when I do my classes, and I even have my classes at a doggy daycare where there have been dogs around all day. Now the dogs have to be fully vaccinated to be able to go. But I've never had a puppy get sick. I mean, but this place, they do like, they clean the floors and everything before I come. They spray everything down. So it's really clean when I get there. But I've actually never had a dog get sick. So I've had a couple call me and say, my dog has Giardia, so we're not going to come tonight. But they got that from hiking and drinking out of a river or some stagnant water or something. So, yes. Okay, you guys, are you ready for a drawing? And then if people have more questions. So Bill, I love that you go to the groomer. I always tell my clients, do happy visits. So go to the vet and just give treats. Go to the groomer and just give treats. So they get used to like walking in, where's Maddie? Maddie's been trying to break into the kitchen for a week, trying to get the puppies food. So yeah, do happy visits at all these places where they get to go and get treats. So like you could put them on the scale, put them up on the groomer's table, but don't do anything with them yet. That's great. And you can do a lot of the handling at home, like handle their ears, their paws, their nails, stuff like that, just to get them used to that. So, okay. Let us do a drawing. We mix all these up. And a couple of you got extra ones for, no, Jade is asleep. Jade went to an hour service dog training today with another client and her service dog. Then she went to a preschool with Willie. So she is currently on her bed, absolutely fast asleep. So I'm going to draw and mix these up, but I've just got to give some of you extras for answering. Okay, so tonight winner is Kristen Sanders. So Kristen, what you want to do is email hello@pupford.com Let them know what kind of treats you want. Remember, they have blueberry and banana chips. Um, and then I will email them as well and tell them that you are the winner. So congratulations. Um, any of you guys want any of the handouts we talked about? Bill, I have a handout on handling. So the right way to handle like puppies. It talks about like take a body part a day or something. So if you want that, email me, and I will send you that handout. So yes, everybody have a great rest of your week and weekend, and I will see you next Thursday. Don't know what time yet, but it'll probably be Thursday. Okay, thanks guys. So long.